I feel certain that chaos will come, and I'm going to do what I can to create order from it. And I feel certain that destruction will arrive, and I'm going to do what I can to create beauty from it. And I hope all of you can do the same. Yesterday, we celebrated the life of one of my good friend's wives. She lived radiantly and gracefully, and her life ended tragically short after a brave battle with breast cancer. I spent the afternoon in the sunshine, feeling the waves of grief, feeling the fear of loneliness and abandonment that many of us experience through loss and through death. And at the same time, I was fortunate to have the opportunity to create some beauty out of destruction and create some order out of chaos. The request from the family was that we all create an altar in celebration of her, and that we bring things from nature to organize and appreciate the beauty of what's all around us. And a couple days prior, a client of mine pointed out these beautiful and simple white flowers that were growing. And they were growing out of the dirt and soil and debris that was left behind from a flood about a year and a half ago. And so as I was considering what nature to bring to add to this altar, I chose to clip some of those flowers, some of the resilient beauty that cropped up after all of the destruction that had come through the area, and to add to a bit of beauty. And as I sat thinking about how to organize that into a bouquet that was a nice presentation, I thought of some twine that was a deep purple color that I still had possession of. And as I thought of that twine, it was related to a former relationship that I had. So I sat with the grief of the loss of that opportunity. And I sat with the loss of that relationship from my life. And I had these flowers that were going to create some beauty after destruction. And I had this twine that was going to add some beauty after destruction. And so I spent some time wrapping the twine around the long stems in order to use all of it in a neat and orderly array. And what formed was a central stalk of high frequency, a radiant purple with a solid core that stood tall. And without intending it, I realized that this was exactly how I saw my friend's wife. We weren't close. Maybe a handful of times that I spent around her, but she had a tall, strong beauty and a radiance and a gentleness that was exuded by this purple twine wrapped around these persistent flowers that grew out of the mud after the flood. And so I sat with appreciation for those flowers, and I sat with appreciation for that twine and the ending of the relationship that allowed that twine to be used again. And so I arrived to the ceremony, to the celebration, and I waited patiently in line, feeling the heaviness and equivalent joy that was in that field as I waited to approach the altar and place the flowers there. And to my great joy, I realized that purple was the color that was chosen for the altar, and there was a deep violet all around there. And I was able to add just a little bit of additional beauty to that. Repeatedly, I've proven to myself that I can be resilient from loss. And that doesn't make it any easier. But the more times I go through it, the more I realize that the difficulty is worth it. This past winter, I experienced for the first time in my life deep loneliness. And I've always been able to appreciate solitude, but this past winter, I reached a new depth of solitude and found a deeper core of loneliness in there. And as I sat with that repeatedly in the cold days of the winter, I sank beneath all of that and tried to find the connection to nature, the connection to oneness, the connection between all of us. And even though nobody was close to me at the time, I could feel that we were all connected and close, that time and space were creating distance, but that if I went deep enough, I could find that connection. And to wrap up the ceremony yesterday, my friend shared a story that his wife did not believe that anything ended, that it was going to repeat again, that we were going to recycle, that we were going to renew. And it's a beautiful sentiment. And I'm not going to live my life as if we will renew, even though it's even though it's soothing to think that we might renew and recycle later. I'm going to live my life as if there's only one go. And I'm going to find the things that maximize the order and maximize the beauty and the joy that comes from this life. I'm going to maximize the intensity that I can get out of my body and maximize the intensity of closeness that I can feel with all of those that I find near me. I feel certain that chaos will come, and I'm going to do what I can to create order from it. And I feel certain that destruction will arrive, and I'm going to do what I can to create beauty from it. And I hope all of you can do the same. Find a little thing of disorder and organize it. Find a little section of your life that's a little less beautiful and allow it to reveal the beauty to you. And then share it with others. All right, team. Happy and heavy Sunday. Steady onward.